Nigeria. I am Becky Madujemu and you're watching Newsline on NTA Network. And February ends today. Is it me or is 2021 in a hurry? At this rate, I hope we can catch up with the speed. Now, in the last 12 months, Nigerians made lifestyle changes due to the coronavirus pandemic. How it all started, the bumps along the way, and the reality on ground will be chronicled tonight. In relation to that is a visit to a foremost COVID-19 management center in Abuja. Find out what really goes on in such treatment facilities. We will also reveal vital information about the vaccine built to land Nigeria in the coming week. Now, aside the pandemic, we have other stories worth your time. We enjoin you to watch everything. For now, Elizabeth Omoriye will present the day's news.
Hello, Becky. Thanks for joining us on the news segment of the program. Federal government says the series of attacks on schools and adoption of students assumed by the spate of insecurity, especially in northern part of the country, is unacceptable as decisive measures are being deployed to effectively address the menace. Minister for Aviation Hadi Sirika stated this when he led a presidential delegation on sympathy visit to Zamfara State over the recent abduction of Nigerians at Government Girls Secondary School, Jangibe in Talata Mafra local government area of the state. Sadia Abubakar Tanau reports.
The recent abduction of more than 300 students at Government Girls Science Secondary School, Jangebe in Talata Mafara local government area of Zamfara State has continued to attract condemnation from across the country and beyond. A federal government delegation led by Minister for Aviation, Hadi Sirika, was at Zamfara State Government House Gusau on a sympathy visit over the sad event. Other members of the delegation include the Minister of Police Affairs, Maigari Dingyadi, that of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, and her counterpart for Women Affairs, Pauline Talin. Hadi Sirika, on behalf of President Muhammad Buhari, commiserated and identified with Zamfara State Government and people of the state, especially the families of the abducted girls over the sad incident, and reassured them of the federal government commitment to the speedy rescue of the abductees unhurt. He said President Muhammad Buhari is particularly concerned with the condemnable trend of attacking and abducting innocent children from schools by the criminals, as new strategies are being deployed to effectively address the menace.
Government is indeed government. It has the powers, the resources, the wherewithal to attack frontally this banditry and events of this nature.
Zamfara State Governor Bello Muhammad applauded the federal government for the concern.
Because of the huge landmass of the state and different camps of the leaders of these banditry activities, we need more and more presence of security in such areas.
Special prayers were offered for divine intervention to the effort of addressing security challenges in Zamfara State and the country as a whole. In Gusau, Sadia Abubakar Tano, NTA News.
And the Emir of Ankan, Chairman Zamfara State Council of Chiefs Alhaji Atairu Muhammad Ahmed, has described a series of students' abduction in the northern part of the country as a monumental tragedy that spells doom to the education sector in the region, saying decisive measures must be taken to address the profiling crime. The Emir made the remarks when he led other members of the council on a sympathy visit to Governor Bello Muhammad at the Government House over the recent massive abduction of students at the Government Girls Science Secondary School, Jangebe in Talata Mafra local government area of the state.
Allah make this to be the last incidents in Nigeria, not only in the first. And He, the Almighty Allah, also reveal all behind these disastrous incidences.
No time to trade games. Now, all we are afraid here now is to see the several times of these innocent children. people have noticed that we are doing our best to put seven, make sure that these children were returned home.
The Zamfara state government has refuted claims in some media outlets that the abducted female students of Government Girls Science Secondary School, Jangebe, have been released by the abductors. In a statement by the press secretary in the office of the governor, Jamilu Ilyasu, Governor Bello Mohammed and security agencies are working around the clock to ensure the safe release of the victims. The statement adds that the state government will immediately inform Nigerians as soon as the girls are released. Now, employment generation, engaging the youths meaningfully and broadening the nation's security structure to accommodate the grassroots will help in curtailing the increasing wave of violence across the country. This is the opinion of some Nigerians while speaking on checking violence across the country. Goodluck Enaini reports.
As government makes effort towards ending insurgency in the northeast and laying foundation of sustainable peace in the region, it is equally addressing conflicts between farmers and herders, banditry, and various forms of security challenges in other parts of the country. Government's articulated response, such as the renewed national security strategy in 2019, is a commitment to enhancing the social security of Nigerians to improve their physical security and make Nigeria safe for development.
We shouldn't leave everything to the government or to the security agencies. That's why we come out as an NGO to give our little we can do for this nation.
Peace and security is very important for any nation to develop, and we in the Niger Delta or South, we are not an exception.
By the time we start giving concession to the less privileged, peace will set in.
We have to return back to God. We have to fear. He said the fear of the Lord is beginning of wisdom.
Youth of Niger Delta and Nigeria at large, we have a role to play to make sure there is peace.
They also urge the body saddled with the responsibility of sensitizing the citizens to live up to its biddings. In Benin, Goodluck Enaini, NTA News.
Emotional was the only word which came close to describing the scenario when the family of Philip reunited with their daughter Anatu and son-in-law Dodo, who were held captives for 10 days. Abdullah Mohammed took stock of the 3-hour journey the family embarked upon to reunite with their daughter.
The news of the release of the boys, school teachers and families abducted in Science Secondary School Kagara was a gladdening one for the family of Mr. Philip Kiaga, and waiting for 24 hours to set eyes on their daughter was like another 24 days. So the journey from Kagara to Mina. Anxiety was in the air, and so I suggested sightseeing. The breathtaking rapids in River Zungeru eased the tension. But there came the time mother set her eyes on her daughter. After the tears, then the experience in the hands of the bandits.
That terrible. I never prayed for even my enemy to undergo this kind of experience.
But we thank God that we are alive.
The end of a nasty experience surely deserves a pose for the cameras. For us, it's not that Mr. Kiaga's family have had a happy reunion here, but the kind of bond that we have created between us for all these days. In Mina, Niger State, Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
Into other matters, Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has confirmed that the expected 4 million doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines will arrive the country on Tuesday. The SGF made this known in a video message released to the media.
I assure you that the vaccines are coming, and they are coming very quickly, bearing any change in the delivery plan that has been released to us by UNICEF. Our vaccines are supposed to, like I said, bearing any change, because the logistical arrangements and other things are in the hands of the UNICEF. We believe that our vaccines should depart India on the 1st of March 2021 at 10:30 p.m. in the night and arrive Abuja on the 2nd of March 2021 at about 11:10 a.m. in the morning. So we are making preparations for that. But the truth about it is that as we receive the vaccines, this one is coming from the covered facility. About 4 million doses of vaccines are coming from the covered facility on this one trip. We're supposed to have about 60 million in the first quarter from the COVAX facility. And we are expecting that they will supply about 84 million doses from the COVAX facility, which is free of charge and is supposed to cover about 20% of the Nigerian population. We also have another source of vaccines coming in from the AVAT facility, which is the African Vaccine Action Team. We are expecting about 41 million of that, a combination of AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson.
And it's been 1 year since Nigeria recorded its first case of the coronavirus. Since then, the situation has evolved with more cases occurring, while the federal government and states are keeping up measures to combat the virus. In this special report, Basita Ikman takes us through the 1 year milestone of the dreaded COVID-19 in Nigeria.
In the wake of the coronavirus outbreak in China in December 2019, the federal government in January 2020 assured Nigerians of the country's readiness to strengthen surveillance at the nation's points of entries to prevent the importation of the virus. The first case in Nigeria was, however, announced on the 27th of February 2020. Several interventions were initiated to ensure compliance to safety protocols.
The journey has been a journey of discovery. We are learning about the COVID-19 and responding as we go along to use against positively to be able to be ahead, not to get to where Europe and America have been.
A new variant of a vaccine, it's in itself not a big challenge. The Africa Center for Excellence in Genomics found a new variant in Nigeria, the B1525, which has also been found in some other countries.
President Buhari signed the Coronavirus Disease Health Protection Law 2021 to ensure adherence to safety protocols and penalty against non-compliance. The good news now is that the first doses of COVID-19 vaccine is expected in the country, with the frontline workers and the elderly first in line for the vaccination. With the vaccines in view, experts continue to appeal to Nigerians to adhere to safety protocols as COVID-19 is real. Basi Taipa, NTA News.
Away from COVID-19 management, the National Identity Management Commission, NMC, has been tasked to step up its game to ensure all Nigerians are captured before the deadline stipulated by the federal government. This is just as the Onehe Insha, the 10th King Apollos Chu, handed over a state-of-the-art facility to NMC, Rivers State, to fast-track the National Identity Number Registration exercise. Ijoma Ogweke reports.
Ogale and Okori are communities under Eleme, a kingdom densely populated by multinational companies, before now has the challenge of faulty national identity number capturing system. Concerned that his subjects are missing out on the capturing exercise, thereby visiting neighboring local government areas to be captured, King Apollos Chu moved to procure a state-of-the-art registration facility to make things easier.
If those of them who have money in the bank and if you want to go and withdraw their money, or maybe their account is in having situation, they want to go and reset up their account, that means they will not their money is tied in the bank because of this number. I also look at the damage, the cost of this thing is far cheaper than the damage that this is causing my own kingdom.
Every time you think of your people, you know they tire. Well, only God will bless you for this one. Amen. I say God will bless you. Amen.
The state coordinator, NIMSI, Carol Ogene, who received the equipment on behalf of the commission, applauded the monarch for assisting the federal government to achieve its goal of capturing all citizens into its database.
The national identification number NIN cannot be overemphasized. So we want to urge all element people, like they have been doing, coming out en masse to register. We also promise that the staff that will be sent here to man the system will work very well.
This all-in-one enrollment system is to be stationed in Ogale community to serve the residents of Eleme and other neighboring communities. From Eleme, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
The federal government's single treasury account TSA is to be boosted with a sum of $919,202. This is equal to the order of the Federal High Court, Port Harcourt, on the final forfeiture of the said amount being proceeds from the sale of a seized vessel to the federal government. Joy Uzo reports.
The Federal High Court in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, has ordered the final forfeiture of the sum of $919,202 to the federal government being proceeds from the sale of a seized vessel. The court specifically ordered Union Bank of Nigeria PLC Port Harcourt branch to remit the money into the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission ICPC Federal Government Recovery Account with number 00201-22561028, domiciled at the Central Bank of Nigeria. A copy of the order of the court indicates that the money was lawfully kept in an interest-yielding account with Union Bank in Port Harcourt since 2014, when the seized vessel was sold on the order of court following the refusal of the owner of the vessel to show up for ownership claim. A group of bunkers had in 2014 abandoned the vessel loaded with stolen crude oil so as to escape the wrath of the law in the economic sabotage-related offences. Following their refusal to show up to claim the vessel, a federal high court had ordered it to be sold off. However, no one was said to have come up to lay claim to ownership of the vessel, prompting the federal government to apply for forfeiture of the proceeds to it. Justice Ibrahim Sani, while issuing the order following an application by the federal government, directed that the money be paid by Union Bank into the Treasury Single Account TSA and that an affidavit of compliance must also be filed. In Port Harcourt, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
Still on judicial matters, the President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Monica Dongban Bensem, has denounced the campaign of calumny going on over the proposed appointment of justices to the Court of Appeal. She said the exercise, which is by merit only, went through the due process of appointing justices, and 80 were shortlisted, out of which only 20 justices would eventually be appointed. She adds that the National Judicial Council's right to pick the candidates of their choice is without preference to creed, tribe or association and should be seen as such. The total reopening of the Third Mainland Bridge has brought with it a new lease of life for residents of Lagos, with motorists now enjoying smoother ride. Dotun Ogunyemi reports on the current mood of motorists who had to contend with the challenges of the partial closure.
For more than 24 hours after its full reopening, the Third Mainland Bridge has resumed its role as one of the busiest across the country, and the difference can only be felt enjoying a smooth ride. Being a weekend, traffic is light, which means there is the temptation to drive fast, throwing caution to the wind. We were quickly stopped in our lanes like other vehicles as we slowed down. In front of us was an accident scene, and the victim, Otinel Ikpibako, who was still recovering from the shock, was incoherent trying to narrate what happened.
No, but I wish if this place was okay, I believe the incidents wouldn't have happened.
Such situations can, however, be avoided, as motorists advise that caution should be the watchword when plying the bridge.
But the government have do their best. They have done their best, the very best. But it's better now with the drivers to be very, very, very careful, because I can see the way people drive reckless on the road is very bad.
It's always advisable for people to be cautious. Take your time while driving, because you should examine yourself as the only person that is sane on the road.
Other respondents are relieved about the reopening, but also concerned about cases of traffic robberies, as we also spotted security personnel who have also taken strategic positions on the bridge.
Just what the government should just do is they should just try and deploy more security, but more police or whichever, maybe military personnel, maybe military presence or something. But I think I would prefer them to put in more security because we really need it on Lagos Road.
With the bridge now reinvigorated to take on the task for which it was built, motorists commended the quality of work done during the repairs, while urging the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, take on the repairs of other bridges across the state. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
And from Lagos, we now take you to Sokoto, where onion producers and marketers have inaugurated a documented onion exportation through the Ilela border in their state. Shehu Mohammed Dati has details.
Onion Producers and Marketers Association have taken the lead among local producers in exporting local content from Nigeria towards African countries. Comptroller of Customs, Sokoto Zamfara Area Command, Abdulhamid Ma'aji, commended President Muhammad Buhari for reopening the land borders as it attracts foreign investors, create job opportunities, and enhance value addition.
This is a milestone achievement. The message is that people should embrace compliance. Any intending exporter or importer, anybody that wants to transact business with customs, the door is open.
National President, Onion Producers and Marketers Association, Aliyu Metasamu, explained that the association resolved to take advantage of the federal government's initiative on the diversification of the nation's economy. Nigeria is among the 10 top onion exporting countries in the world with an annual 1.4 million metric tons in output.
At the end of the day, we are contributing to gross domestic product. We are also creating jobs for our youth, and at the same time also repatriating forests.
On its part, Sokoto State government said very soon producers of the commodity will have the opportunity of exporting the products not only in West Africa but to European countries. With the export documentation, onion producers and marketers will now spend only 10% of the normal 1 million naira spent while exporting the commodity. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
The Nigerian Customs Service Apapa Command has impounded a container laden with 554 cartons of tramadol and other prohibited products. Abalade Salami reports that the Comptroller of Customs Apapa Command used the opportunity to affirm the zeal of the service to ensure smuggled goods do not enter the country.
Guided by the marching orders to block all revenue leakage channels in and out of the port in order to ensure accurate revenue remittance to the federal government coffers, the Nigerian Customs Service instituted an electronic process of payment and clearance of consignments. In this regard, the service also redesigned its anti-smuggling architecture to suppress the act to its barest minimum. As a way of examining its strategies to address the menace, the Apapa Command seized a container that was wrongfully declared to be conveying only ceramic tiles, which investigation revealed also had drugs and bills of used clothing.
The container was dropped for 100% physical examination. On the examination of the container, the front of the container was concealed with ceramic tiles, as you can see it. Then we asked for 100% examination. When the officers get in depth inside, they found out these items of tramadol, and it was brought down, examined, and that is what we are looking for.
Further investigation showed that yet another container had unregistered pharmaceutical products and sacks of mosquito coils declared as packaging paper bags.
And this command under my watch will ensure that anybody who attempts or an intent to make an unlawful importation into this command or anywhere in the country is going to be dealt with decisively.
The controller re-echoed the readiness of officers and men of the Apapa Command to uphold professionalism and integrity in sanitizing the country of smuggled goods. In Lagos, Abalade Salami, NTA News.
The Department of State Services has confirmed that Salud Tanko Yakasai, former special advisor on media to Kano State Governor, is in its custody. A statement by the Public Relations Officer of the service, Dr. Peter Afunanya, indicates that Yakasai has been investigated over issues beyond the expression of opinions in the social media, as wrongly alleged by a section of the media. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has described the late Olupof Ajashekbo Obasikiru Atunda Sani Ilufemiloye Woliola II as a bridge builder and a selfless monarch that was committed to the growth and development of his community. The minister stated this when he paid a condolence visit to the good people of Ajashekbo and the Ulupo in council. Kendi Omolosho has details.
The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, was received at the palace of the late monarch by the acting president of Ajashekbo Descendants Union, Yakub Ayola. The minister expressed shock over the monarch's death, particularly at this period when his counsel and advice will be needed towards nation building. He called on the people of Ajashekbo to see the death of Obasikiru Atanda Woliola as the will of Allah and should be consoled that the first-class traditional ruler lived a life worthy of emulation. The minister, while consoling the deceased wife, Olori Fumilayo Woliola, prayed Allah to give the courage and strength to bear the irreparable loss.
He believed in truth, and he always told me that, look, if not for God, he would not have been the king. That he was the least favored, but it was God's wish that was there, and that he never for 1 minute forgot that. I'm sure the whole town, the whole state will miss him. But our prayer is that we get a successor whose tenure will be as successful and as fruitful as his own.
Until his death on Monday, February 22, 2021, Obasikiru Atanda Woliola II was the chairman, Igbomina Ekiti Traditional Council of Chiefs. He was aged 69. Kehinde Omolosho, NTA News.
Talking sports now, Dakar FC fights back to